Hi folks, in a couple previous videos we checked out these two vintage survival kits. This is an REI survival kit that was made in 1972 that originally sold for $1.95. And then to the right is a Tacoma Mountain Rescue all-purpose storm kit that was made sometime after this kit. There's no dating on the inside, so it's impossible to know exactly when it was made, but if I had to guess, it's probably from the 1990s. Now, on the inside, these kits are pretty much exactly the same, and I'm pretty sure they were packed by the same people, just at different times and with different branding. So if you haven't watched those two videos, go ahead and watch them before you watch this video. That way, everything will make more sense. I'll put links to those two videos in the top right corner of this video. Anyway, back when I was reviewing the Tacoma Mountain Rescue Storm Kit here, I mentioned that at some point in time they had manufactured a larger version of this kit that contained some additional items such as a knife and a compass and cordage and so forth. And so for the last 2 years, I've been looking for that larger version. I saved it into my eBay searches and I waited and waited and waited. And finally, a couple weeks ago, one showed up on eBay. So here it is, and we're gonna check it out right now on Kitbashed Survival. So when I found this on eBay, they were asking $50 for it. I offered $35, and that's what I got it for, $35. Now, this video really isn't about whether it is or is not worth the money that I paid, because number one, it doesn't matter anyway because these aren't for sale anymore. You can't buy them new. And number two, I was buying this as a collector, not as someone looking for a good deal on a survival kit. I've been looking for one of these for a long time. They're very hard to find, and so I would have been happy to pay $50 for it, so I'm really glad that I got it for $35. That was just fine by me. So as you can see, it's in great shape, almost mint condition. There's only a couple small scratches on it, and it appears to have never been opened, which is great. Now, I think this was made sometime in the last 10 or 20 years, and I think that for two reasons. Number one, you can still find this on the REI website. It's out of stock, you can't buy it anymore, but it is on their site, and so that means it was for sale sometime in the modern internet era. And then also on the bottom, there's a sticker that says, assembled in USA of components from USA and China. And that's sort of a modern era sticker to me. You really wouldn't find that if this was made in the 70s or 80s or even the 90s. So to me, this seems like it was made in the last 10 or 20 years. Hopefully, when we get inside, we'll find something that will help us date it more accurately. We'll find out. If we bring over the smaller kit for a side-by-side comparison, you can see that they have a very similar design, although there are some differences. They've got basically the same height and width, but the kit on the right is deeper to accommodate the extra gear. And speaking of gear, let's do a comparison of the contents of each kit. So the larger kit contains matches, a candle, sugar, salt, tea, bouillon, wire, whistle, paper, pencil, compass, foil, knife, cord, polybag, signal mirror, plastic tube tarp, and a survival brochure. And if we compare these contents to these, we can see that the extra gear in this kit includes the paper, the pencil, the compass, the foil, the knife, the cord, and the polybag. Now, because this larger kit has extra gear, it's interesting that the kits are titled differently. You'll notice the smaller one is just called a storm kit. It's not really called a survival kit. It's just for surviving a storm overnight, whereas this one, because it has some extra gear, they call it a storm and survival kit. Kind of cool. So it's a storm and survival kit for overnight emergency. Provides information, warmth, shelter, energy, and signals for pilots, hunters, hikers, fishers, travelers, snowboarders, and campers. Survival is the challenge to stay alive. You can see it says for emergency and for survival. The contents list, we already went over that. The enclosed brochure gives information to support human life from the Arctic to the desert. Remember, freedom of the hills is accomplished by being self-sufficient while you are in the wilderness. And then over here, I'm not sure if you can read this with the light above, but it says this kit is assembled and distributed by Tacoma Mountain Rescue Unit, and it's got their address in Tacoma, Washington, a member of the Mountain Rescue Association, volunteers dedicated to saving lives through rescue and mountain safety education. So let's go ahead and crack it open. So we'll start by pulling off this vinyl tape that is there to give it a little bit of water resistance. And you always want to save this tape because this could be used as survival gear. right, there it is. On the underside of the lid is a signal mirror, and seems to work pretty good. There I am. And then there's what's in the kit. So let's start pulling stuff out. First, we've got some cordage. It's not paracord, it's just like nylon rope, nylon string. It's burned at both ends so that it doesn't unravel. It's nice. Here is the candle, closed up in some plastic wrap, which is nice. This one's broken, but that's okay. It's really in here tight. Well, here's the compass. Let's see here. Well, it does work. It is accurate. That's always good. We got this bag of stuff, and then we've got the knife. And then that's what the tin looks like empty. Pretty nice. You could use it to boil water if you had to. So let's check out the knife. This is the Chaku Super Knife, best quality stainless steel blade. Yeah, I've seen these kind of knives before. Pretty cheap, but you know, in a pinch, they'll do. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's got a little eagle right there. Does have a little finger post there to help you open it up. Stainless steel, made in China. It's mostly serrated. It's got a plain edge right here and then serrations there. I mean, it is what it looks like. It's a cheap Chinese stainless steel knife. Not the best thing by a long shot, but, you know, in a pinch, it would be okay. For just overnight survival, this would be just fine. Not fancy, but it'll get the job done. Probably wouldn't last much longer than one night, but there it is. Yeah. All right, now let's check out what's in the bag. So the bag itself is part of the kit. You could use this for water collection, although they don't have any water purification tablets in here. You'd have to boil the water, but you could store your water in here or collect it. So there's that. Then we've got the foil wrapped around the tube tarp and all the other stuff. Looks like a pretty generous supply of foil. I'm not sure how much it is, but probably a couple feet. Then we've got the survival brochure. It's got your ground to air signals, advice for all sorts of conditions, you know, sun, desert, wind and rain, blizzard, and so forth. We've got a big twisty tie right here. I guess this is the wire. You could use it for a snare or something like that if you had to. And then they've got other advice in here: choosing a campsite, drink plenty of water, SOS signals, finding directions without a compass, building a fire, signaling for help. So, yeah, not bad. If you do not see anything that you positively recognize, you are lost. Don't panic, sit down and think. Good advice. I like the little illustration. All right, then we've got some beef bouillon, instant broth, and seasoning. And then we've got our little packet that's got tea in it. So it looks like there's 2 tea bags and 2 packs of sugar, Dixie crystals. We've got some strike-on box matches, 32 count, always good to have. Here's a pencil. Here's paper for that pencil. Looks like you got 3 or 4 sheets of paper. And then here's the whistle. This is the same whistle they had in the smaller, older kits. Think, your brain is your best survival tool. Tacoma Mountain Rescue Unit. Very cool. Made in USA. Oh yeah. Really nice tone. And then finally, we've got the tube tarp, which is exactly what it is, a big plastic tube tarp. which you could use to make a shelter. It's not fancy, it won't be fun, it's not going to look great or anything, but in a pinch, it would get the job done, and it would certainly be better than no shelter at all. And that's it. Oh, and look at that. At the bottom of the brochure, we've got a copyright date of 1999. I had guessed that this kit was 10 to 20 years old, and it looks like that guess was pretty accurate because with a copyright of 1999, obviously this thing was made sometime after that. If I had to guess now, I'd probably say early 2000s. Alright, so here's all the contents laid out. Now, obviously this was not the most comprehensive survival kit ever made, but for its size, I think it's okay. They've got the basics covered. And if you found yourself in an overnight emergency, which is what this kit is designed for, it says so right on the front of the tin, for an overnight emergency, I think this would give you a fighting chance. And given a choice between this and nothing, I would take this any day. Alright, so there you have it, the Tacoma Mountain Rescue Storm and Survival Kit, a really cool vintage survival kit that I've been trying to locate and add to my collection for a couple of years, and I'm really happy that I was finally able to find one and share it with you today. But let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, that's it. I'm Eric Siegel, this is Kit Bashed Survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.